Welcome to the Alchemy Lab. So, as some of you know, some of you who have been with us for quite a while, whenever a new set drops, we like to get in and muck about and, turn the mad deck doctor loose and see what he can come up with. And this time, Rastakhan's is here. And there's some really cool stuff that might be possible. So we thought, hey, let's do an Alchemy Lab. Let's build some fun stuff. And let's see what we can do. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Avantes. And I'm joined by my co-hosts, Dr. Zeroshio.
What's up, gang?
Did we catch him asleep?
It is early.
It is early. We also have Dr. Man-at-Arms.
For science!
That's right. We do this for science. And, of course, the Mad Deck Doctor himself, Dr. Versika.
Wasn't science last expansion? This is voodoo now, right?
Right.
We should call this voodoo. We should call this Mojo Lab.
The
There we
Mojo
go.
Lab. This lab is full of sweat.
Well, we know at least one card has mojo. He tells
Yes.
you when he comes in.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Well, see, now I see Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
Oh.
I just can't. It's there. Stuck.
Oh, okay.
That's your one. That's your one.
Mojo
Defeating you with this deck, I will. With this deck that I'm going to defeat you with. This deck I made to defeat you.
That's right. So,
Okay.
all right. So, here's what we're going to do. Each of us have built 2 decks from different classes. The only class that will not be represented today is Priest, because we kind of looked at it and couldn't really find where Priest is going to be at just this moment.
So it's not that Priest didn't get any tools, because they did. And we have expected to kind of let Druid sit out of this because, it's Druid and everybody's just going to play Malygos and Togwaggle and none of the new stuff came out. But we found some really good Druid decks, and I'll be playing one of them. But Priest is just in a weird spot that's really... It needs a couple weeks, I think, or at least another week. So we'll come back to Priest probably in the next Alchemy Lab. But Priest definitely has tools. They're just we just don't know where they're at yet.
So I pulled the live stats for everything that's been played in the last 7 days. Right. Priest is the second least played class, with fewer than 8% of all 85,000 games recorded. The only class that had fewer games was Warrior. But right now, Mechathune Priest, according to the same site, has the highest win rate.
Yes. Mechathune.
So-
Well, okay, so it's not so much Mechathune Priest, it's Mechathune decks. Mechathune Druid, Mechathune Warlock, and Mechathune Priest are really successful right now because while the Spell Hunter is very kind of game
Dominant.
flippy, it's tough. It takes a while to get there because it grinds you out. Also, a lot of the new decks everybody's trying are combo style decks or control style decks, and the aggro decks are being checked by those. So a lot of people aren't playing aggro.
I think
because aggro's.
I think aggro is being checked by Spell Hunter.
That's true. That's
I mean,
also true.
It's super hard to rush Spell Hunter down.
And
Between
whenever
the explosive traps and the flanking strikes and the baited arrows,
Yep.
I mean, it punishes you for going early.
Whenever aggro is kind of droughted in the meta, combo decks can step up. Now, we have a lot of good combo decks in the different classes, but Mechathune is, in its truth, a combo deck, and it can go off. The Priest variation is really good. The only reason I don't think we're not seeing more of the Priest Mechathune is because the Druid Mechathune is much more consistent.
Yeah, I tried doing some cool stuff with Surrender to Madness and Priest and with Somni. The idea I had was more of like put a ton of 1-drops in Priest and see if I can zoo people down with it. The problem
I
is,
tried that.
Yeah, the problem was when to hit that Surrender to Madness versus when, like, eventually maybe if you draw Somni, that's the big thing. If you draw Somni, you're in good shape. If you don't, the deck is garbage.
Sure.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it was
I mean,
really,
and it's just not. It's not that good. And like, it's just not that good right now.
yeah. But Mass Hysteria is turning out to be really good against.
The Mass Hysteria is probably one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion. Just like based on like what is out there now and how much like, just minion centric and board centric decks there are. So
Yeah,
I will say this. I do want to. So because before we get off the topic of Mechathune Priest or Mechathune decks, there is a good way to counter it, and I think unless you're running Spell Hunter, this won't work. Tech Mukla into your deck. Throwing Mukla down when you know they're about to go off all of a sudden adds two bananas to their hand, and I know Druid definitely can't do it. Now it won't help against the Warlock variation, but it's not played nearly as much. So maybe Mukla starts being seen as more of a tech card.
So one of the things that I also two points here. The other priest that I really saw outside of the Mechathune priest has been the Hakar priest.
Blame Tice for that.
Yeah, and so Hunter gets to tracking away the bloods.
Yeah.
So I think that's why that deck didn't really get to take off. There's so much Hunter right now
that's still early.
Yeah.
I think actually
it'll be surprising. I think we all looked at Somni and thought that was going to be the card in Priest that people were going to really play around.
For
But
the
I
record,
think Talanji is going to end up being better than Somni.
For the record, I want to say you and I had this discussion, and I did not believe that Bonsomdi was very good at all. And I'm not still convinced that Talanji is great, but she is better than Bonsomdi.
You can OTK people with Talanji. You can't do it with Somni.
True.
I think Talanji is going to be the key for a Dragon Priest to reemerge.
I'd rather just seance my Velen and Malagos and get copies of my Radiant Elementals and hit him for 40.
Let me rephrase that. I think Talanji is going to be what lets Quest Dragon Priest work.
Okay.
All right. Well, are you guys ready to? Are we ready to play some games? Because I mean, we could sit here and we could theory craft and talk all day long.
Let's go. So, who's going first? Are you going to roll the dice?
Let's do it.
Reveal dice.
Let's do a random.org.
Random.org. All right. Let me get that pulled up.
Or Dice Works too, whichever. Do you have a 4-sided dice somewhere?
I do actually have a 4-sided dice right here on my desk in this great little wooden Hearthstone box that when you open it up has a full set of dice in it. So
that's nice.
Really neat.
Clockwise starting at you.
And if you look inside, it says Kobolds and Catacombs.
So Clockwork starting with you.
Clockwise starting with me. So I'm 1, Versika's 2, Zeroshio's 3, and Man at Arms is 4.
That's not clockwise.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Man at Arms would be 3, Zeroshio would be 4.
Exactly.
All right. So first up is number 4, Zeroshio versus Man at Arms.
There we go.
3.
All right.
Cool.
I'll send you the thing, Jershio.
Do the thing with the stuff.
All right, standard duel, right?
Yes, standard duel. And we will, Versika and I will spectate and
commentate.
We're
going to spectate and commentate. We're going to teach you guys.
All right, let me mute myself and deafen myself here.
Usually,
You're gonna what?
Usually people have to be, usually people pay to be tated.
Oh god. Usually I say things like this. All right. Well, I'm going to mute and deafen myself in Skype so that I am not getting an unfair advantage. Good luck.
All right. So, like we said earlier, each person was given 2 classes to play. I guess we could run those down. Mad at Arms is playing Hunter and Rogue, while Zeroshio is playing Paladin and Druid. Versika will be playing Mage and Shaman, and I myself will be playing Warlock and Warrior. So, alright, looks like they are in the game. So, I'm going to spectate. Zeroshio will be on the bottom, and Mad at Arms will be on the top.
Alright, I will do the opposite then.
Alright, let's see.
If I can get through this.
Alright, so Zeroshio is playing Quest Druid. So his opening hand is Jungle Giants, 2 Charged Devil Swords, and an Oaken Summons. I assume he will throw back both of the Devil Swords. He'll probably hold on to the Oaken Summons because he is on the coin.
Yep. I've played a ton of Quest Druid since the expansion dropped, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, I actually think the Quest Druid is one of the ones I'm missing. So he did throw back both Devil Swords, and he drew Ixalan and Spreading Plague, and Mad at Arms comes right out of the gate with a naked South Sea deckhand on the board.
I've not looked at his list, but so far this looks very much like the Quest Druid I'm playing, which is a Star Aligner Quest Druid.
Uh-huh.
And Ixalan is really key to getting the Star Aligner combo off.
Okay, okay.
And so Mad at Arms is playing a Pirate Rogue, an Aggro Pirate Rogue. So it'll be interesting to see if Zeroshio can stop, and that's not good. So if Zeroshio is playing a very similar list to mine, Oaken Summons is used to bring out the Cursed Disciple and the Steel Rager. If he can't Oaken Summons into one of them, that's a really big tempo loss for him. Not being able to Oaken Summons into the Steel Rager is already a tempo loss for him. And with as fast a start as Mad at Arms has, this is going to be pretty tough.
It does, in fact, look like Zeroshio's list is the one you are describing. So he's going to Oaken Summons here.
So this should pull a Cursed Disciple.
Yes. And it does.
Yeah. All right, so that's one. Unfortunately, his other 2 5 casting costs he's relying on are in his hand.
So,
but he doesn't have an Oaken Summon, so
Cursed
King's Bane
Disciple
comes
is
out.
the 4-mana 5/1 that summons a 5/1.
Right, and it does count for the quest. So Mad at Arms won't pop it. He's going to force Zeroshio to do the trade. So now Zeroshio will run the Cursed Disciple into the Hinge Clan Thug and probably play the other Cursed Disciple. Walk the Plank isn't relevant yet, but this is definitely a Bloodsail Raid or Shark Fin turn.
Oh, yeah. So, if you guys have not been playing some form of Pirate Rogue right now, you're missing out on a lot of fun. I built one this morning and have just been having a blast with it.
So this is where Zeroshio starts to stabilize. Steel Rager should come down and take out the probably the Shark Fin fan. The Disciple will run into the Raider, and then the other 5/1 will take out the Cavern Shiny Finder. And then, he's going to go ahead and... So one of the things that I learned with as much silence as there is going around is I tend to keep my Spellstone in case I need to pop my Undertaker later.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I'm sorry, Undertake is not in this one, so yeah, liberal use of Spellstone is fine. Sorry.
Okay. So many different versions this early in the set. And I know people are taking in and putting in and taking out cards regularly.
Yeah, I play 2 different versions of Druid right now. One is an Undertaker Taunt Druid, and then I play this one. So in this one, you want to use your Spellstone as often as possible, and the other, you want to save it.
So Man-at-Arms is going to use Walk the Plank to remove the Rager.
Okay, but this is where Zerosio really starts to stabilize. Barnabas comes down this turn.
Yep.
And then Man-at-Arms will have to walk the plank Barnabas, which will pretty much take his turn.
He could still play the South Sea Captain, which he will.
Right. So this turn, Amani Warbear will come down and clear the captain, and Zerosio starts to regain control.
And there's Undasta right off the top.
Actually, if he Undastas and gets the charged Devilsaur, he can hit Matt at face, but I don't think he'll do it yet. Amani Warbear is going to be the play, comes down, and now Man-at-Arms is in trouble.
Yeah, although he did just draw Raiding Party, which he can play for free with preparation. So Raiding Party lets you draw 2 pirates from your deck and a weapon. So he'll get the Kingsbane back. But, he draws 2 Dread Corsairs.
Yeah, and they'll both go down. But what this means is that Zerosio will Undasta into one of the Corsairs. He will Warbear the other one, and a charged Devilsaur should hit Man-at-Arms at face for 8.
Ooh, okay.
Or actually, I was going to say, Ixlid can come down first, get 2 Undastas, but he's not going to do it.
Okay, he's going to clear the board here.
But he should have. If Ixlid had come down, he could have Undasted twice and cleared that board and still had the Warbear and gone to face for 8.
Okay.
It was a really passive play.
Yeah, and it looks like Man-at-Arms is just out of gas now.
Yeah, so this should be the turn where that happens. Ixlid into Undasta, into Charged Devilsaur. But he's still not pulling the trigger on it. Man-at-Arms should be dead.
Oh, wait. Here comes Ixlid. Here comes Undasta.
To see if he had used the second Undasta to clear that, wouldn't have made a difference, actually.
Yeah. He's down to 11. Let's see. It's going to depend on what top deck's here.
There's
Another
nothing.
Raiding Party.
There's nothing he can draw.
Yeah. There's not a pirate in the game that's going to save him.
Yeah. And that's just it. And that's the way this Druid works. It's really, really fun to play. And Undasta, Barnabas into Undasta is the key.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just... So, just ran out of gas, sir.
Yeah, so...
Yes, I did.
Starliner.
No more gas. It's all right.
All right.
Didn't have the combo. I'm bummed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so...
I love that deck.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up the deck lists and we'll kind of talk about them. So, all right, are you back with us, Zerosio? Not yet. Okay. So, all right. So Zerosio was playing Quest Druid with Starliner. We were just kind of talking about that. And Man-at-Arms was playing Aggro Kingsbane. So those 2 decks are really... It's really not a good matchup for the Rogue unless you just get the nuts draw at the beginning, right?
Yeah, if I drew better, I think I would have had a good shot of that. I think I don't know, the draws were okay. It's just, when I had double Walk the Plank in my hand, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I happened to use the Walk the Planks early. Because once I knew the Walk the Planks were gone, I was like, well, let's say it's Valspines, and he might. I didn't look at the deck lists, but I was pretty safe to load up the board with big dudes. I would have liked to gotten Starliner out, but Yes.
I've been crushed by that card too many times in Wild that glad,
And-
kind of glad, but still, it's been one put on a show.
You don't need Starliner to win the game. Actually, I win the game more often without Starliner.
Actually, those Cursed Disciples are probably the best card in the deck just to win early.
Yeah, when I saw Cursed Disciple, Steel Rager, and then the Oaken Summons in my hand, I was like, oh, as long as I don't draw the other Cursed Disciple, I should have this done by 6.
Yeah, Oaken Summons is... being able to Oaken Summons is pretty key. Is this the deck list that I put into Discord day before yesterday?
Believe it might be.
Okay, so since then, I've actually taken out 1 Wrath and 1... let's see. I'm trying to find out what else I took out. I put in 2 swipes. So I took out a Wrath and something else.
I considered that. The problem is the Wrath are really good at drawing you a card after you've Barnabased.
Yeah.
Even if you just do 1 damage to your own minion, if you have to, just to draw a 0 cost, heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Those Wraths are really good.
Yeah.
Plus,
So,
3 health is kind of like the gold right now. Everything solid, nice balanced has 3 health.
Mhm.
I'm pulling this up. Hold on just a second. So I have played 24 games with this, 60% win rate. So I was looking over it, and the reason that I did it was I was actually overdrawing in the control matchups. I was losing in fatigue.
Yeah.
So I took out the Ultimate Infestation and a Wrath and put in 2 swipes to actually slow my draw down a little bit.
Yeah, I like the UI late game.
Yeah.
Because when you're running behind against control, you can UI and draw the 3 pieces you need to star a line.
Yeah, the problem I was running into was that if I didn't get the Oaken, or if I didn't get Oaken Summons early, I was losing so much tempo
It's true.
early. So the
That's true.
swipe helped me stabilize in the mid game if I didn't draw Oaken Summons. If you draw Oaken Summons, you're usually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My experience with Quest Druid in the past, even Oaken Summons late is fine after you complete the quest because it'll pull out something big in your deck that's left over.
Yeah, so once Barnabas hits, in case anyone out there doesn't know, once Barnabas hits, Oaken Summons can pull anything.
Yes, including a Charged Devil Sword to win you the game.
Right.
Mhm.
Which is done a few times for me.
So let's talk a little bit about Matt's deck. So the Aggro King's Bane.
I like it.
I do too. You were talking about not getting the combo off, which I'm assuming is the Cannon Barrage.
Well, the Cannon Barrage isn't so much. It's a nice to have. It's kind of like a Bloodlust where it can sit in your hand and be dead most of the game, but sometimes it can win you a game if you have 3 pirates on the board. Because with 2 pirates on the board, you'll do 3 shots.
Yeah.
Because it counts you as a pirate basically. Yeah, I've had some good success with this. A lot of people are like, Walk the Plank's not great. I think Walk the Plank is phenomenal.
I do too.
The ability to just straight up, kill your Divine Shield taunt
It's
minion.
a mana cheaper than Assassinate.
Yeah,
Right.
you can.
Yeah, you don't have to combo for it. So in that sense, it's a little better than
Valspine.
Vilespine.
Well, Valspine, you get the body, but you have to combo.
Right.
Yeah, but I think thematically, just because it's a pirate deck, Walk the Plank is nice. But also the fact that it's 4 mana Assassinate that, you can prep out to 1 mana. If you really need to.
Actually, I'm playing it in Even Rogue and loving it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a super good card. The other card that in this deck that really shines for me is Raiding Party.
Yes. I think
Raiding
Party
Party
may be top 5 cards in the set.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the card, even if you you don't have king, if you already have your Kingsbane in your hand, it just refills. The card's super good.
Here's an interesting thing I was seeing when I've played with that deck, and I played with your version of it. I run into a lot of situations where I just don't draw the Raiding Party when I need it.
Mm-hmm.
and putting a second copy in the deck kind of waters it down. What if you took out the barrage, but put in Arcane Dynamos?
Remind us what Arcane Dynamo is, Rocha.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now.
Arcane Dynamo, and I'll have to pull up the card exactly to get the exact wording, but it gets you the 5 or more cost card. It discovers one.
Oh, the Discover one? Okay. I see.
Yeah. It's 6 mana for a 3/4, so same mana, but it has a body with it. Battlecry, discover a spell that costs 5 or more. And in Rogue, if I'm not mistaken, in Standard, you will always discover the Barrage.
No, you also get a chance for Sprint and Vanish.
Right.
I know. It's a discover, so you'll get 3 choices.
Oh, you're right.
So you'll always get the choice.
No, you also get the Assassinate and the Terrible Spellstone.
Oh, yeah.
And Necrium Vial and Myra's on the table.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So
then my
Myra's
theory is shot down.
But
yeah.
But I think Myra's is probably the best. Like, is if you can get it, is a super good card. If you don't have Myra's, go for Sprint.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of good choices in that list. And if you don't get Barrage, then you're still getting a good choice. Maybe it's worth.
I might test it. Every time I've used Arcane Dynamo, and the only time I really used it is on my free-to-play account, it's always underwhelmed for me.
Okay.
So I think that there's a good thought for it, but I don't think this deck runs too fast for a card that is like a 6 mana 3/4 that I get a card that I have to play next turn.
All right. Well, they were both fun to watch. I've actually rolled our next matchup if you guys are ready.
Cool.
All right.
So that's. Are we not doing our both of our decks per person?
Well, no, you got to play your second deck against somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We'll roll somebody else. So,
gotcha.
Actually, Matt at Arms is up again.
Yay.
The 3, and he will be facing myself.
Nice.
Sweet.
So here's the only other drawback to this is you guys won't be able to see his hand during our match. So you'll just have to go off of what he's playing.
We'll call it out.
Yeah.
Rocha and I will make sure to.
Might want to go ahead and pull up his deck list just so you
keep
have
an eye on his hand.
And so all right. Well, with that said, I am going to hop in game, and I'm going to turn off my Skype monitor and take off my headset, and I'll see you guys after the game.
Yep.
All right. All right, so are we gonna get we're gonna get unfiltered Avantis?
I do not know what happened. My Skype decided to just restart.
Oh, I hope we don't lose you.
No, everything else is fine. It just Skype actually just like it was updating. It just restarted. Weird. Okay. So I am spectating. Who are we spectating in the bottom? I guess that...
It doesn't matter. I mean, Patrick or Avantis, that's who we're going to see. So.
Okay. Then I will put Matt on my bottom. What? What are you laughing about?
I just got a message in game. I don't know if he wants me to say it out loud. I'll go ahead and say it out loud. One of the guys has $5 on Avantis. Better not let him down.
Who has $5 on Avantis?
The X-Scrub.
Oh, really? Where is it? Oh, he sent you a message in game?
Yeah.
I don't even see X Scrub in chat. Oh, he's clearly lurking. Thanks for the lurk, X Scrub.
So Avant, of course, he's bringing Dragon Warrior. I think, I don't know. It was the golden goose for Avanti's. Dragon Warrior was definitely what he wanted. Okay, so in Matt at Arms' hand, he's playing it's like a trap hunter. So he's got, of course, you saw he played Candle Shot. He's got Explosive Trap, Zul'jin, Rexxar, Animal
Wow.
Companion, and the coin, and now he pulled the Spellstone. So Spellstone
Wow.
is going to make it tough. Avanti's pretty much has to draw Brawl.
And if this goes to late game, which it can, which it probably will, Man-at-Arms has the gas. But we have some good tools in Avanti's hand. I mean, he has the Cobalt Scalebane. He has the Scale Worm.
Yeah, but Man-at-Arms just drew the second Spellstone.
He did.
So if he draws another trap, it's going to be Spellstone into Spellstone. It's going to be brutal. So Stitch Tracker, and Stitch Tracker is the play. Undasta, Houndmaster, Shaw, Charge Devilsaur is the cards.
You hate seeing Undasta. Oh, and he gets rid of Undasta. Oh, wait, no, that's right. This isn't tracking.
Discover. Yeah, so
this isn't tracking.
So Shaw is the pickup.
Which is going to be great with the Spellstones.
Yeah, so Ember Scale Drake is something that is going to be essential for Man-at-Arms to remove. Man-at-Arms is considering a Spellstone. It's only been charged once, though. That's still 3 wolves that has to contend. I think right here, if you're Man-at-Arms, I think this is an Animal Companion turn. And he drew probably the worst one he could draw.
I think you take a value hit with your face, though. You don't necessarily have to run the Stitch Tracker, but you definitely want to. I would want to hit it with my face here to tell Avantis, I'm going to. You have to trade off this dragon, but he chooses not to.
So, with War Master Voon in hand, one of the things I've seen with people playing Dragon Warrior right now is that they tend to be a little greedy with War Master, and not cast it when it's optimal.
Now would be a great time because he has a Cobalt Scalebane as well as the Crowd Roaster.
Yeah, I would.
But Darius, it's hard to say that Darius is ever a bad play.
And here comes the Explosive Trap, and so Avanti's going to get the bad news that his board is cleared with the exception of War Master. Okay, so second trap. This is going to be Wandering Monster. Coin.
You wouldn't Rexxar here, or is he wanting to say Rexxar till after?
No. He's going to coin Spellstone.
Okay.
And this is going to force Avantis to have a brawl or be in a bad spot. And this Spellstone right now is what's making Hunter so powerful.
Yeah.
There's really nothing Avantis can do here aside from Crowd Roasting 1, which means that the Crowd Roaster dies to 1 wolf and the Candle Shot.
Face, yeah.
But I don't think Man-at-Arms takes it out. I think this is going to be Deathstalker Rexxar into Candle Shot, and then 2 wolves to face.
Well, you can't clear it with the Candle Shot. He has to use a wolf.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the wolf.
If he wants to clear it.
But with
Wandering Monster.
With Wandering Monster, there's no reason to clear it because anything he gets off Wandering Monster basically helps clear this Crowd Roaster. So
that is very true.
Because he didn't play War Master Voon, he doesn't have a second Crowd Roaster. But he does go ahead.
Gets another Ember Scale.
Gets another Ember Scale Drake. This is going to be key. Ember Scale Drake comes down. He didn't Shield Slam last turn. So there's no armor. Now he can Shield Slam the other. But Avantis is going to get the bad news that a second Spellstone is waiting in the wings.
Yep. And with a Deadly Shot.
Yeah, so this is... But Man-at-Arms decides not to take the obvious play, going for a Build-A-Beast first. I have a feeling...
He has lots of health.
Yeah. This is probably going to be a Vilebrood Skitterer.
And he needs to get his value out of his Build-A-Beast now because he's likely going to Zul'jin on 10.
But he didn't. He chose... Nightmare Amalgamation into the Stegodon. So he's got a 5/10 taunt for 7.
And he doesn't Spellstone.
He could Spellstone and Deadly Shot.
Oh, exactly. He definitely didn't need the Skidder because he had the Deadly Shot.
Okay, so now Avantis draws Grommash Hellscream. And honestly, right now, I think you just go ahead and Grommash and go face and basically...
And hope that's a Explosive Trap, which we know it's not.
Well, hope is even if it's a Wandering Monster, it still activates
Yeah.
So I think Grommash is the play here. If not, the only other line I really see is Dragon Roar into Frothing Berserker into Fairy Dragon. Armor up.
Well, the Cobalt Scalebane into... Well, he's choosing not to armor up at all. Okay. Now, this makes this... this Fairy Dragon is really... It can't be flanking striked. It can't be baited arrowed.
So Matt at Arms is considering Houndmaster Shaw into Spellstone, and I think that
would clear the board.
It's going to clear the board, but I think it gives Avanti's tempo back.
It does, but he has to deal with the Houndmaster.
Yeah. So all 3 wolves die.
But again, that's 7 wolves on the stack now for Zul'jin.
Yeah. Without the ability to
Whoa, just snaps to Nozdormu and says, You're on a clock. Figure it out.
So Nozdormu comes down. Build a Boost is going to be brutally fast now. He goes for Stubborn Gastropod, I'm assuming? No. It's, Dire Frenzy on the Zombie-sted wolf.
He's going to push face damage. And he knows this Nozdormu is going to go back to hand with Freezing Trap.
Yep. So Avantis has to draw immediate removal, which he does in a Shield Slam, but it's not enough. So Nozdormu will get sent back to hand.
The problem is Nozdormu can no longer be played because it's now 11 mana.
Yep.
I don't think he expected that.
This is Grommash, right? I mean, you have to clear that wolf.
Grommash doesn't kill it.
Yeah, you're going to have to you can't, because you can't Grommash into Shield Slam.
Nope, because he has no armor.
Is this,
This is a tough spot.
Is this
what it
Voon?
is.
Does Voon copy the 11 cost, or does it go back to normal cost?
That's a good question. And I think he might be trying to make room in his hand for Voon so he can test that theory as well. He does need to armor up here.
Yeah. Okay. So this still presents a problem board for Matt.
Very similar to last board.
I think this is probably Stitch Tracker. I think,
Katharina.
I'd probably go Katrina here.
I like the Katharina.
Because you got 2/5/5 chargers.
Well, the zombies can take out the 5/5. One is not going to use the zombies.
All right, so what did we end up with? Zombies has Divine Shield, Poisonous, Battlecry, Adapt for 6. It's a 3/3 for 6. That's still a pretty brutal zombies.
Very awkward board. You almost have to use his whole board to clear this. Oh.
I think I just straight up clear on the Scalebane and send everything else to face.
Well, you can't send the Stitch Tracker to face.
Oh, that's right. It had to go into the amalgam. Soul Thraze has been drawn. I think this is a Voon turn, right?
Every turn's been a Voon turn, though. That's the problem. He needs to start a turn with some armor so he can activate Grom. I would Voon. I'd just load up the board as wide as I can get it.
Yeah, I would Frothing into Voon into armor.
Yes.
I don't think Soul Thraze helps you here, but he's going to Voon, or he's going to just Soul Thraze and armor.
Okay, so if this
He'll pop the
activates
trap.
Wandering Monster, it's likely he'll get a second attack if he wants. And he doesn't, because he got a 3/4.
Yep.
But this at least clears that trap.
Okay, so now Katharina comes down, right? Yep. So Katharina comes down.
Oh no, the Timberwolf got shuffled. Is that bad though?
No, I think that's great. So this allows him to go ahead and zombies. He gets a 5/5 charger. I think this is good.
He took the zombies. He took the Echo Rush with the axe chicken.
Yep.
That could be bad.
Yeah. So Crowd Roaster on Katrina, right?
Yeah.
No, he's got Crowd Roaster onto the Wolf.
Okay. I
I
would
mean-
like to see Voon with Crowd Roaster in hand to maximize your.
Yeah. I think at this point he's given up on Voon. If you've not cast it by now, you're probably not going to really do it. Second, Katrina.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is
So-
sick.
This is going to be,
Another 5/5 charger.
and then another one comes down.
King Crush.
This is either going to
Nope.
be Crush
He gets
or another
charged Devil Sword.
Charged Devil Star. So it still rushes.
Yep. This is just about
Brutal.
Dunzo, right?
Yeah. So he's on Beast again. It's a 2 for a 3/3. It's got the Scavenging Hyena.
With the Penguin.
Yep. So let's see. Ziliax comes down.
The Band-Aid.
Armor up. He's going to slam into the... Oh. Going to hit it. Go face. And
Yeah.
that'll
He
be
is.
it.
This is a concession line.
Yep.
And see, there's the misplay. If he's going to say well played and know the game's over, he should have smashed his face into the.
Oh. Axe Chicken
Oh,
comes
no.
down.
Here comes all the
Another-
axe chickens.
So many Axe Chickens.
The noises. That's almost my favorite next to Gibberer.
That was
Oh, Lord.
hilarious.
All the axe chickens.
All the Axe Chickens.
Gave him the chicken.
You guys were playing so fast, it was so hard to talk about Man at Arms hand.
So in Man at Arms, okay, Man at Arms picks the fastest zombies. This is not the Wild West. And Rexar's hero power is not a 6-shooter. You do not need to just snap them off like that.
You're muted, Matt at Arms. Matt, you're muted.
I bet he doesn't even have his speaker up.
There we go.
He can't
There
even
we
hear
go.
us.
There we go.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. No, like when I make zombies, I tend to like snap pick the lowest one first because sometimes, because you never know what you're going to get with the other one, unless it's like a really good choice for the first choice. And to be fair, the Nosdormer turn I had to.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Pick as fast as
I'd
possible.
hope Nosdormu was going to make you quick pick and maybe mess up, but...
So we had a question we were asking the whole time, Avantis. Why were you holding on to the boons so long? Also, we wanted to know if you copied Nosdormu, if it would give you the 9 cost or if it made it 11.
So it would have been 11 mana.
Okay, so you have tested that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever it is in your hand is what it copies.
Okay.
So,
So one of the things that I've noticed with watching as many people play the Dragon Warrior as I have is that they tend to hold on to Voon too long.
too long.
Mhm.
I was like, this hand doesn't feel quite good enough to duplicate. And there was a couple of times I was like, well, maybe I play Voon this turn, but then if I duplicate, my hand will be full.
Yeah, but I mean, if you had duplicated that Crowd Roaster early, it might have been a different game.
Yeah.
I don't know. With regards to Boom, I think I was providing enough pressure
Oh yeah.
in that game that
Not Boom.
I think turning 7. I mean, you're doing turn 7 Boom or something like
Nope.
that.
Not Boom,
Would've-
Voon.
Oh, Voon.
War
Oh, I thought you were
Master
talking about.
Voon.
Oh, I thought you
Warmaster
were talking about
Boon.
Doctor Boom.
No.
Oh, okay.
He had Warmaster Voon to copy all the dragons in his hand.
Gotcha. Sorry. All the warrior cards sound the same to me.
That's right. Voon, Boom. Those are the only two.
But yeah, so pull up the deck so we can take a look at them.
Yeah. So let's see. That was Alchemy Hunter versus Dragon Warrior. Oh, did not pull
So-
up. Hold on up. Yeah. There
You
we go.
just had a plethora of riches in your hand, Matt. Zul'jin and Rexar on the opening hand is a little awkward.
Yeah,
Spellstone top deck into Spellstone was,
That was
that was
sick.
really the death. That was really the death knell for Avanti.
Yeah.
He really couldn't come back from that.
You had
yeah.
the
Once I got like this, the only problem with this deck I think I've had in the few games I've played with it is the secret density isn't high enough for Spellstone to get that upgraded. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with this. I'm thrilled with a 3 Wolf Spellstone in
Right.
this deck. But like, yeah, getting like 2 for 1 off my secrets was pretty awesome. Yeah, but like the main focus of this deck is mainly the Boomzooka into the 2-mana card combo,
Yeah.
and then repeating it
Yeah.
hopefully with Zul'jin.
I was really hoping we would get to see the Boomzooka. That was
Mhm.
out of everything that I saw in the deck list. That one was like I really want to see that happen, especially the Boomzooka into the Mundasta.
Yeah.
That would have been really fun. So Smolderthorn Lancer in Avanti's deck, you have 2 of them in there, but you didn't draw them and you didn't get it off of the Dragon Roars either. That was pretty unfortunate. Oh, is that a dragon? Smolderthorn?
No, it's not.
It's not a dragon. That's why you didn't
No.
get it.
Yeah,
You have to
no.
have a dragon. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So pulling the fairy dragon, at first when I first saw it, I'm just like, oh, that's rough. And then it turned out to be,
Yeah.
Matt had to trade into it. So
Yeah, you can't flanking strike it or baited arrow it. So it actually is a decent card to pull off the Dragon Roar in that matchup.
and really, when I'm thinking of dragons to pull off of Dragon Roar, that one seems to be the lowest value dragon I can think of. And even then, it turned out to be pretty good. So
Yeah.
I think Dragon Roar is as good a card as we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Dragon Roar a lot. I've played it quite a few times during testing, and it feels like more times than not, I get one of the big dragons. I either get Onyxia or Nozdormu or Deathwing or Malygos. Usually, a majority of the time when I play that card.
So you're playing 2 crowd roasters, and I guess that's why you weren't as concerned about using Voon. So if you had to pick one card in this matchup, like let's say that the people watching, they don't have 2 crowd roasters, since it's an epic,
Mhm.
and a lot of people are crafting legendaries right now. What would be a card you feel like would fit in to take the place of crowd roaster, a second crowd roaster?
So I use Crowd Roaster primarily for direct damage, as removal. So, I mean,
Maybe another weapon.
another weapon or some other form of removal.
So you currently don't run any brawls that I see. What would you consider putting a brawl in this?
So I actually did have one brawl in the previous version of this deck, and in the games that I played, more times than not, it was sitting in my hand because I had board control.
You were ahead.
I was ahead.
You were ahead. Yeah.
And so I actually took it out and put in the Sul Thrays.
Okay.
For testing purposes. But,
Okay, so if they don't have a Soul Thrays, which is once again another epic, most
Yeah.
people are spending money on legendaries at this point. So brawl in for Soul Thrays.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is another epic, but you should have that one already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have brawl at this point, that's your own fault. Just thinking, so Darius Crowley wasn't a heavily crafted legendary out of Witchwood. So if they don't have Darius, do you run Town Criers?
Probably not.
Okay.
The Town Crier is really there specifically to maybe provide a turn 1 drop and to pull Darius, but there's some other options. Besides,
it pulls
Ziliax.
Well, yeah,
Super
that's
good.
true. That's true. It does pull Ziliax as well.
And it does it work on your scale worms?
No, because they have a battle cry rush.
Yeah, you have to have a dragon in your hand for that.
I haven't played enough Warrior to really know that one. Any merit to playing Overlord's Whip since you're running Grommash and Frothing Berserkers?
Possibly.
Yeah,
that's a good thought.
That is not a bad idea.
So I'm just thinking that's a common, and if you're not running Town Crier,
right,
it may provide some early removal and activators later, so it's not a dead draw.
Yeah, that's not bad. I could definitely see putting that in place of the rush package. We do have a question from the chat.
Okay.
They ask, is Voon worthwhile to keep to drop the entire Odd Dragon Warrior concept? And my answer is Odd Dragon Warrior is a completely different build from this. So I would say if you are interested in running the Odd Dragon Warrior, then yes, you could drop Voon.
Yeah.
And
you
because
kind of have to.
Yeah, you kind of have
Yeah.
to. But I mean, there's a lot of things that that are in this deck specifically for this build that you can't run in the Odd Warrior package.
Yeah, this deck here, if you decide to convert it to an odd dragon warrior, you would change a lot of things in it. The dragon packages, for the most part, wouldn't be too much different. The problem with running odd dragon is you not only lose Voon, which isn't that big of a hit, but you lose the dragon roars. So that makes it really hard to put in solid dragons in the deck to keep that concept. Now, mind you, you don't need as many dragons. It's just all about having the big dragons, the Cobalt Scalebanes, the Crowd Roasters, the Ember Scale Drake. But then when you're limiting the dragons that you put in the deck and not having Dragon Roar, then you kind of break some of the dragon synergies. I haven't found a good, consistent Odd Dragon Warrior list, but if you see one, J.R. Charles, definitely send us an email at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. We'll gladly test it out, possibly play it on the show, because I am looking for a build like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just so you know, Avantes, somebody had money bet on you.
Yeah, it was JR. I know.
Okay.
My version 1.0 of this deck was Odd Dragon Warrior. And I played it a dozen games or so, and it didn't quite feel right. So I kind of started then testing other versions, and this is my most recent build. So, I mean, it's still a work in progress. So.
Yeah, when you look at odd dragons, basically the synergies in warriors, you have the Ember Scale Drake and the Smolder Thorn Lancer. That's it just in the class cards, and then you get into the neutrals, and you can put in Swamp Dragon Egg, because that's actually not a bad dragon to put it, because it's not a dragon, it's an egg, but it adds a dragon to your hand, so it kind of fills that Dragon Roar spot. You could run Marsh Drake if you're running any kind of weapons, because that's a 3-mana 5/4 dragon that, if you have a weapon, you can just kill the 2/1 poisonous that it creates. Obviously, the amalgams, the Cobalt Scalebanes, Dragon Maul Scorcher wouldn't be bad. It deals with a lot of your small stuff. The Crowd Roaster is obviously a must. And then you start getting into your big ones. Do you run the Worm Guards, and then all the 9-mana ones, the Alexstrasza, Dragon Hatcher? At that point, I mean, yes, you're an odd warrior, so you're going to have that armor, but can you run that many of the big 9s?
Yeah.
Odd Dragon Warrior misses Chill Maul a lot.
It misses Chill Maul a ton. And in Wild, you can't even do it because,
My Dragon Warrior is even.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it like more recruit focused, or is
Wait,
it more?
what? It's
Yeah,
even?
my Dragon Warrior is an even Dragon Warrior.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is there a thought, Ivani's, with Dragon Roar getting all those big fat dragons in your hand? Off Dragon's Roar, of running the boom ship in this?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That actually. Okay, guys, we now have version 1.3. I will be playing around with that later today.
So yeah, mine is even. My Dragon Warrior is even.
Even seems pretty good because you can run the roars, you can run Voon, which since you won't have as many of the solid dragons, you can get them and then copy them with Voon. But then you also get Fire Tree Witch Doctor, which is that card is sneaky good.
So good.
And
Deathwing.
And
And Primordial Drake.
Deathwing, Scourgelord, Garrosh, and the Woe Cleaver.
Yeah.
But you get Bone Drake, which gets you another dragon. Primordial Drake for that clear, and you're armoring up pretty much every turn for 1 mana. So there is merit to both variations of this. The question, I guess, is the just regular Dragon Warrior better? And so far, I haven't seen enough evidence to say that it would be. But yeah, I definitely want to. That may be what I work on today.
As J.R. Charles says in chat, it could be too slow to be very effective. We'll just have to play around with it and see.
That's the other. That's the other card it's missing is Alex draws as champion.
Yes, yeah, I know, right? All right,
again, this is standard, Mr. Wildman.
So I have
Bat of Arms is done. He is casting from now on.
Yes, he is. And
did we talk about Man at Arms deck at all?
Yes, we talked about it at the beginning. So I have actually rolled our next matchup, and the next matchup is Zeroshio versus Versika.
Oh man. Okay. And I know what deck I have up, so oh goodness.
Yeah, Zeroshio has his Paladin left, and Versika actually has both of his decks available to him, so we'll see what he plays.
This is actually the person I did not want to match up against with my Paladin. But okay, I guess we'll just have to figure it out. All right, I'm muting.
So,
all right.
Muting and deafening.
All right, so Matt, this is going to be fun, I think.
I think this is going to be a good one.
So Zeroshio is playing his OTK Shrivallah Paladin.
Nice.
And we're going to get to see what Versika brings. So if you're watching on stream, Zeroshio will be on the bottom and Versika will be on the top.
And I will do the same.
As soon as they get into game here, we will spectate them.
That was a fun game, by the way. I'm sorry.
It was fun. It was fun. I know the one thing I know I made a mistake on the Town Crier Darius turn. I should have attacked first and then played Town Crier into Darius. I thought the secret was Ice Trap, and it ended up being Flame Trap.
Mm-hmm.
Or Explosive Trap. And then you had the Ice Trap up on the Nozdormu.
All right, so it looks like Versika's bringing a Tempo Mage. Let's get this, because he's got a really great starting hand for that Tempo Mage with the Arcanologist as Primordial Glyph and the Secret Keeper.
Yeah, so this is the one he calls Contender Mage.
Okay.
So excited! I'm actually excited to see this deck played because I haven't seen it yet. Like
I'm a big fan of Tempo Secret Mage, so yeah I think this will be a fun deck to watch.
So Zeroshio's opening hand is Baleful, Banker, Shrink Ray, Consecration, and Timeout. Now,
yeah, I agree with pitching all of that. So the combo for this one, his deck, is to kind of empty out his deck, because I know he has a Hammett in there. Ooh, Thakal on 3 is really good for him.
Yes, Thakal on 3. So if you guys aren't familiar with Thakal, Battlecry convert all but one of your hero's health into armor, and then that allows you to start healing back up to have this big health pools plus armor pool. So, Versika right out of the gate with Secret Keeper and Arcanologist.
Yeah. So, with this enough early board pressure, I think coining out the call is probably his best bet.
I agree. I don't think he's got any other actual play at the moment other than hero power. So.
And I think, hopefully, for Zeroshio, he actually can draw some of his heals and start getting that health back up.
Right.
So he can outlast any burn that Versika might have in this deck.
Yeah. So you can see Zeroshio's got both of his Holy Wraths in his hand already. So that's... All right, so he's going to trade into the Secret Keeper to get it off the board and hero power.
That's a counter spell in hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Or in the setup for him. All right.
Yeah. And then go ahead and play the explosive runes that will pretty much...
I'm not sure I agree with trading in to the call there.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to punch as much damage to face in the early game. But, we'll see.
All right. So, looks like Zeroshio's thinking about the True Silver Champion.
I think you set up True Silver and just swing and swing face because you do need to start healing your life total back up.
Oh, but he doesn't. He holds off.
Okay.
So you've got 5 mana. If you are Versika here, do you play...
I'm thinking you Luna, you play the glyph on the right side of your hand.
Right.
And then hopefully you get a 2 or less mana spell and you can draw another card.
Cards. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what he will do.
Snap Freeze isn't bad.
No, and it would allow him... Oh, but he's going to take the Flame Strike.
Interesting. I don't think the Flame Strike's going to get that much value in this matchup.
No, because most of his stuff is going to probably get buffed.
This
Augmented Elec?
No, Augmented Elec is part of the combo.
Oh, okay.
Which you drop Augmented Elec and a 0-mana Shrivallah, and then you Baleful Banker that in.
Okay.
This actually is... Zeroshio's hand is really awkward especially because I know he thinks it's probably counterspell. He knows it's counterspell at this point.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that he has 2 of his combo pieces and a 6-mana spell in his hand does not help matters at all.
So is he going to have to burn... Is he going to have to burn the Spike Ridge Steed just to get rid of the counterspell?
He might have to, or the Shrink Ray is not a bad...
Ray, yeah.
But it does not trigger your Shrivallah. It does not reduce your Shrivallah at all.
Okay, because it's
because it's countered.
Countered, yeah.
All right, so I think burning the steed here is probably okay. And now he's pretty much he knows that's either Mirror Entity or Explosive Runes.
Yes.
Up for Versika, and most likely it's Explosive Runes because that card is broken. And especially that'll break the combo a little bit too with Augmented Elec.
J.R. Charles in chat says Zeroshio on Paladin, $5 on Zeroshio. Yeah.
Spellstone's okay. Shooting Star's good.
That's good. Yeah. Into lesser.
And he gets it. Ooh, a Polymorph's really nice.
Yeah.
All right, Masked Contender. Does he have any other secrets in the deck? That's next that are in there. Because if he plays that Masked Contender, he will draw another secret and put it in play.
Right.
Oh, that counterspell was brutal.
Yeah, counterspell and a new challenger is good. Because that's 7 mana that doesn't go towards Shrivallah. So
if I'm Versika here, I think I either run Contender out or Challenger or Arcanist.
So there's the Contender, and
doesn't have any more secrets that he can play.
Okay, but he's got the Ethel Arcanist. Oh, and he burns the...
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so
Yeah, his hand actually, Versika's hand is extremely clunky. He can, I think, or for
let's take a look at his hand. He's got Arcane Missiles, the Spell Zerker, Contender Mage, which isn't going to do him any good because he's out of secrets. He's got a Sorcerer's Apprentice, the Contender, the Polymorph, the Fireball, a second Spell Zerker, a second Arcanologist, which is not going to give him anything. So, and he burns the other Arcanist. Okay.
all right. So the polymorph actually gets a lot of work in here.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop the Spell Zerker.
Zerker.
Probably gonna ping it and play the Arcane Missiles
That's exactly what he's going to do.
for 5 damage Arcane Missiles, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
And just go straight face. I think.
At this point, he's on a burn plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that leaves Zeroshio at 12.
All right, the timeout's really good here. for
Timeout
him.
is fantastic here. Because that buys
He
him
can.
another
He can.
turn.
If he timeout first, he's not going to get hit. He should timeout first and silence the 7/7. Yep, there we go.
That's what
He
does.
found
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So that
That's gonna negate
explosive
all
runes-
damage from that
it's
8
from the-
damage explosive runes.
yeah.
So
All right, losing the shooting star is no big loss
I think
at this point.
you ping the 1/1 and you roll out your minions that aren't going to do anything for you, just to get them
Yeah.
out of your hand. Oh, and there's a second explosive runes. That's
All right, that's all right. For Zerosha is probably going to shrink ray this board,
yeah.
and with the Pyromaniac, but then again, the explosive runes is going to kill the Pyromaniac.
And there's now Versika is in fatigue. Oh, he could equality pyro the board too. So he's got a couple of options.
Well, the explosive runes is going to pop the pop the pyro.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So I think he's going to sacrifice the Baleful Banker at this point just to pop that secret.
But
Now,
that's going to pretty much put with no heal in hand. That's going to pretty much
yeah, he's just
be
Vasika's
game
got a fireball in
dead
hand. He
to
wins.
the 2 fireballs. Yep,
He just needs the one.
that's true. Yeah. Spells
Yeah, a little bit of BM here. That's all right.
right. Yep, into the fireball.
Frostbolt fireball.
Oh.
A little bit of BM.
Oh.
He's gonna take 3 damage, or he's gonna take a bunch of damage here. And if I'm Zeroshio, I think I try to kind of flash the light. I would actually draw the flash light here and Holy Wrath just for draw. He's gonna Holy Wrath him. See what he gets. He gets 2 damage off the Holy Wrath. One more. Another 2 damage.
Oh.
Good play, guys. Good, well played.
Wow. The kill with the fire blast. So that was some master level BM from Versika.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Good BM, Versika.
Look at Versika with the BM.
I know.
That wasn't just some BM. That was master level BM.
That was a high quality BM right there.
It wasn't BM. I wanted to give everybody a chance to get to see the deck.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
if I could have gotten either the other timeout or there were some chances there. I just drew a little bit off, and that deck has that problem against something like an aggro style deck. When I saw you throw the Avalinar, the weapon, the Alaneth, I immediately thought, well, now I just got to get him to fatigue. So at that point, I was like, well, the Baleful's going to soak up one of these explosive runes, so I can wild pyro the board. But it was just, if I had been able to draw a timeout in that position, I probably would have been better.
Well,
Uh,
I had you on 2 Holy Wraths in hand, so I wanted to give you
Yeah.
one more turn to be able to Holy Wrath me. So I made sure made sure I was going to put myself in range that it could still work with 2 Holy Wraths.
I may have been better off if I would have thrown out the Alec and then done the Pyro Equality, but at that point I would have totally been sacrificing the Holy Wrath combo.
Well, I think in that type of matchup, I don't think you're trying to do the Holy Wrath combo at all.
That's
I think
true.
you're just trying to survive them. I think you're just trying to outlast them.
My goal was to last as long as I could till I could at least get Hemet, and then Hemet would increase my odds of doing a substantial amount of damage instead of 2 points of damage with the Holy Wraths. And that last bit of double Holy Wrath was just like, if I could hit any big pieces, I might be able to get him with the fatigue damage. So.
Yeah, so I got the deck lists up on screen now, so you guys can see what all was in both decks. So let's for the people at home who may not be familiar with the combo in your deck, Zeroshio, let's kind of talk about how the deck is supposed to work.
So the deck basically is a control paladin. The central point of the deck is to have your equalities and pyros, utilize the Hemets. It does have Spirit of the Tiger, I wish I'd drawn them. And the Spirit of the Tiger is really useful with the a new Challenger, which is a new card that's 7 mana to give you a 6-cost minion and give it Divine Shield and Taunt. I hate that I had to use it to pop a counterspell, but it's what was needed at the time. But ultimately, the goal is to get your deck completely exhausted with the help of Hemet, and then you are going to throw out a free Shrivallah, because by that point, it's a 25 mana minion. That's a 7/5 Divine Shield Rush lifesteal, and it will give you a little bit of life. And then on top of that, you shuffle him back in your hand with Baleful Banker right after you put out the Elec, which is going to give you multiple copies. So if you augmented Elec, Shrivallah, augmented Elec, Baleful Banker, you now have 4 Shrivalahs in your deck, and you will draw 1, leaving 3, and then you can that leaves you enough mana that turn to also time out, and the following turn you just double Holy Wrath. It's 50 damage to the face. And I have pulled this off on screen.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that's how that deck works. So Versika, tell us about your it's a Contender.
So it's basically just the Rastakhan take on Tempo Rogue. So one of the problems that I always had with Tempo Rogue was not being able to get my secrets when I needed them if I didn't have Alaneth. So like Alaneth was so key in that matchup that you basically drew it or you died. So the card Mass Contender pretty much says if you have 1 secret, I'm going to get you another one. And so it lets you operate with 2 secrets on the board more often than not. Right now, because of Arcanologist, it's not as important because you either draw a Contender or you draw Arcanologist and you're fine. So it makes it really stable. But once Arcanologist rotates, Contender will be the only way to pull the additional secret out of your deck. So I'm kind of getting used to it now. In this particular matchup, I drew my secrets early, so
Yeah,
Contender
that's
wasn't needed.
Yeah, that was something Matt and I were talking about. Was you had most of your secrets early, and then late you still had you burned one Arcanist, and then you ended up with Arcanologist and Contender Mage and something else in your hand. Oh, the other Secret Keeper in your hand, but you were out of secrets at that point.
So here's my question about this: is you're only running 2 different secrets because of the heaviness of Arcanologist as well as Masked Contender. Is there any merit to maybe throwing in Mirror Entity and possibly splitting Image, since your Masked Contender will likely will have a chance of getting you a splitting image, and if they try to attack into it, it'll give you 2 mass contenders, and that's crazy tempo.
Well, so splitting image, I thought about it, but honestly, when I was playing around with it originally, I was getting consistent secrets with the contender, but I wasn't able to finish people off. The deck just didn't have the reach it needed. So I needed to pull something to put fireballs in to really maximize the spell Zerker. So I ended up pulling 2 secrets, but I was running 1 splitting image, and I was running a spellbender.
Okay.
So I'm seriously considering cutting down to 1 fireball and 1 shooting star, and going back in with the splitting image and the spellbender.
Mm-hmm. Split, but I think shooting star is good enough, especially with Spellzerker.
Yeah.
That I think you do want to run 2 on that, because especially with dire wolves everywhere and dudes everywhere.
Yep.
I think that's
maybe pull an arcane missile then.
Yeah, or arcane missiles 1 mana 5 damage. With that though, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna cut anything, I think Cinder. Do you have Cinderstorm in your list?
No.
Good. Okay.
I think the Ethereal Arcanists also are really clunky.
Yeah.
Maybe those aren't, or at least maybe not a 2 of, aren't necessarily needed.
So if you don't have to clear the Arcanist, if you don't have to use removal on it, you're sending stuff to my face.
True.
That's true, but you're also, I mean, with the right type of secrets, you're also adding more. If you could put splitting images and mirror entities in the deck.
So imagine splitting image on an Arcanist, though. So here's the deal. I'm not completely discounting what you're saying. My first thought was to pull the Arcanist because they tend to be slower.
Yes, that's my thought.
I originally pulled the Arcanist into the Secret Keeper and added the Secret Keepers in. I wasn't running both. So what ended up happening is I just got pressured face. So all the stuff that I was using for reach just ended up having to go to clear the board. So in the end, I just didn't have finishers. So Arcanist, I never expect to use Arcanist the way most people expect to use Arcanist. Arcanist is simply there to scare the crap out of you so that you have to deal with it.
So, J.R. Charles in chat says, what about the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Okay, so Sorcerer's Apprentice is another card that I consider taking out. But the synergy with Stargazer Luna is so good early that if you start to struggle with card draw, which can happen from time to time in this deck, Sorcerer's Apprentice is how you get your hand restocked.
Actually, I did have a question for you on in your choice on the primordial glyph.
Yes.
You had an option with Luna down to pick a 2 mana spell, the 2 mana shatter, updated shatter. Kind of curious why you didn't do that and try to go for another card draw.
So, at that time, if I'm not mistaken, I had Alaneth in hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my first instinct was to go that route. But with Alaneth in hand, and I knew once I dropped it that Zeroshio is a good enough player that he's not going to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I knew not only was I going to struggle to get cards out of my hand, but that I was already going to lose the fatigue race. So I just didn't want to add any more fatigue on.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Because I would have abused that play, to be honest.
Well,
yeah.
The fact that Zeroshio had the call on 3, also like in the fact he didn't draw any of his healing,
right?
At
No
all,
healing,
none
at all.
No
So like,
healing.
the fact that I think
It was so bad.
I think knowing that Zeroshio had dropped the call at that point, I agree with that line now.
Yeah.
Now, just for the record, I am not Zeroshio. I am Dr. Zeorshio.
Zeorshio.
Oh yeah.
That's
Somebody
right.
misspelled my name.
That's all right.
gosh.
That's all right. In the class review, I was mad at Arm.
just one arm. You just got one.
Yeah. Y'all are killing me.
Okay. All right. So basically, the reason I made this deck was to show you guys that Mass Contender is good enough to put in.
He actually, he's impressed me a little bit. I haven't had a chance to play with him because I haven't opened one yet.
I have no way discrediting the Mass Contender. He did work, and I like him. Well, I mean, he could have done work more in the deck. I just think there's not enough secrets in the deck to support him.
So actually, what I'm thinking now is I may actually pull Arcanist or Arcanologist.
Yeah, you don't need the Arcanologist.
And just run the 2 more secrets instead.
Actually, if you pull Arcanologist and Kirin Tor, you can run 2 more secrets and 2 more. Like you run like something like Amani Berserker.
Yeah, the Kirin Tor works really well with the Mass Contender, though.
So
True.
Kirin Tor is in there for Priest. Priest struggles so hard to get rid of Kirin Tor Mage.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably casting something that's going to keep something off the board, making it that much harder for them.
That's a good question by J.R. Charles. Malacrass in this deck, just to reload early.
That would be great if I had him.
Okay.
That would be good, though.
Malacrass is worth considering.
The only problem is if you do draw Alaneth, I think he's pretty much a dead card.
That's true. You either have to draw him, but Alaneth leaves at rotation. So Malacrass could be a great sub for.
And maybe you Malacrass and just because of some of the other draw you have, you just don't play Alaneth in this list.
Well, so I tried that at first too, and more often than not, I just ran myself out of cards.
No, yeah, Alaneth is way too good not to run in a tempo mage.
It pretty much has to be in there. Okay. Especially if you manage to get Sorcerer's Apprentice into Stargazer Luna. I mean, it's you pretty much you're searching for Alaneth. That's the whole reason Luna's in there, is to get you Alaneth.
Right.
Because I didn't even have Luna. I crafted her yesterday.
Luna's so good, dude.
Luna's
she is so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Because
so
I was. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
I said I was running the draw 2. I can't remember his name right now.
Arcane Intellect.
Intellect.
I was running Arcane Intellect, and it just wasn't getting the job done. So.
All right. Yeah, that card's really slow.
All right, so we are to our last game of the day. The final 2 decks will be myself versus Rastakhan. So you guys will have Mad at Arms and Zeroshio casting this time. So all right,
go ahead and F and mute.
All right, I will see you after the game.
All right. While the cats are away.
Ooh, Disco.
Are they in?
They're. Well, I can spectate.
It took me a minute.
Yeah, I'm still fighting the boss.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Avantes is on the Disco lock. Surprise, surprise, and we see Versika on the Shaman.
Nice.
I'm excited to see this Shaman. He tends to be a Shaman connoisseur. Oh my goodness!
There's a
Lore Walker Cho in hand.
In even Shaman.
An even Shaman with Lore Walker Cho. Okay, this is amazing.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
I agree with okay, so Avani's got the Flame Imp turn 1. I completely agree with this play since he really has nothing to do. Turn. He has nothing to do turn 2.
Yeah, but this gets punished by the Merkspark Eel right out the bat.
Ooh, a Jeklik.
Well, got the Jeklik in hand, so this is can ramp up. This goes into Lakari sacrifice this turn into a Reckless Dire Troll next turn, having a chance to discard a Jeklik.
Unless he draws something cheaper, which he does. Soulfire,
and he does. So does that change your line of play to go into the Soulfire?
No, I think you draw. I think you do the Dire Troll anyway.
He Soulfires if he discards the Dire Troll, and he does. That's kind of punishing.
Yeah, and I think he should.
Oh.
And tapping last also was punishing, especially after drawing Clutch Mother.
Yep. So seeing that the Soulfire has been used, does that devalue the Lore Walker Cho?
I still think you run it. I still think you just drop it just to, because you have nothing else to do on this turn other than Totem.
Okay.
Just because in case he does draw something like Shriek or
Shriek, that would be
Defile or something like that, I think the Cho will still get value and still make some interesting choices. I don't know if he runs Flame Tongue Totem. He should, but I don't think he does.
Okay, so again, we can't see the people watching can't see Versika's hand. He has a Serenite from left to right. Serenite, Jeklik. He just discarded the
Clutch Mother.
Clutch Mother, and he played the Dire Troll, which he kind of top decked that Dire Troll. That worked out really well for him.
So Versika's gonna Tidal Surge, which is for 5, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the heal.
Doesn't get the heal, but the Solarium. See, this is where if he would have played the Lore Walker Cho, now there's a Solarium that he might have been able to draw.
And all 3 of these are going to be really good to get off.
Wow, the Howl Fiend is a great drop.
And getting Doomguard later.
Okay, so these early discards is not a big deal because he does have the 6 mana minion that will get him those cards back. The Hex is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is an awesome play.
Shuts down that discard play.
And Versika is 4 of 6 on the quest, so he only needs to discard 2 more cards.
Or Avantis.
Yeah, that's right, Avantis. I'm watching one screen upside down from the other. So
Direwolf Alphas is interesting. I haven't seen that, and I don't think I'm not sure if it fits in the theme of this deck.
Well, I think it works well with the Serenites because putting the Serenites to 3 attack kind of negates a lot of minions in the meta right now.
So Versika has Hagatha the Witch in hand, and it's turn 6. I think his plan is quite honestly just to kind of stall now at this point to get to that point.
Yeah, is there any merit to just Rain of Frogs this turn?
That's not a bad play. I think either that or dropping Karen because Karen can just take care of things.
Yeah, I like the Rain of Frogs because next turn is kind of a passive turn anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like the hit on that.
This Cataclysm is going to be gross.
Whoa. So Avantis draws Cataclysm with 3 mana overloaded. This is going to not only discard Jeklik and Zavas, it's going to then allow him to play a 6/6 for 2 mana if he so desires.
I think that's pretty good.
I think you just do it because you have 2 Jekliks now.
Oh yeah, you drop that 6 mana 2/2 or 2 mana 6/6.
Yeah, 2 mana
as fast as you
6/6.
can.
Yep, and now the portal's online. Going into turn 8, that's actually not bad.
And with double Jeklik as well, this is why Jeklik I think is probably my favorite card of the set. It's crazy value and it's it can just grow out of proportion.
So I like
the
Hagatha is going to be able to deal with the imps.
Oh my god, he got a Soul Infusion on one of the Jekliks.
And now here's the interesting thing about Soul Infusion on Jeklik. If you discard Jeklik, it will come back with the buffs intact to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my favorite interactions.
This is almost a clear Hagatha turn, right?
I think you trade in here, you drop Hagatha.
But now he is way behind.
Yeah, because he's going to have to deal with these 3 2s every turn.
So do you play the 3/4 Jeklik just to get that out of your hand?
I think so.
Discard later.
Tap last again.
Yeah. Hopefully Fred's not watching.
Yeah.
The important thing is get all these low cost mana cards out of your hand because if you do draw something that discards the lowest cost, you want to discard that Jeklik.
That Farsight. He's going to give him a Farsight. Okay.
He's giving him a far sight. That's interesting.
Lickham is not over, and he's going to go ahead and overload himself and start clearing with Lickham.
Yep.
And he's giving him a crushing hands. So this is, I think, we're not playing Lorewalker Cho on turn 3. I think really punished Versika here.
I think so.
The other thought I think he might be having is, I'm going to give him more cards so that Jeklik or that other Jeklik in his hand that I know he has
That
doesn't
makes
get
sense.
buffed. Doesn't
And
get
they're low
copied
cost.
and buffed.
They're low cost cards too.
Yeah,
And even the far side will draw him a card and reduce the cost.
correct.
I mean, still a little weird way to do it, but
I mean, I completely understand the thought there. It's just another Soul Infusion buff on
oh my
on
goodness.
Jeklik. She's a big girl.
Jeklik is getting all of the buffs.
What is
He's
she up to?
Thinking
Oh.
about holding it.
She's going to hold it. She's going to be if he throws that buff, she'll be a 7/8 Jeklik that can copy herself.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the other hex yet.
Correct. But
So
if you
you
can copy, if
definitely
you can
want-
discard, if he can manipulate his hand so he can discard her, I don't think you care about Hex at this point.
True. If you can get a second copy, yes. I agree.
Ice Fishing does nothing.
Ice fishing, just to get it out of the hand.
Yes, I got another. Well, I got an elementary reaction. That's going to be good for next turn.
So he's pressuring face, which I don't hate because he has a fire elemental in hand.
Mhm.
But he won't be overloaded next turn. He hasn't played any burn spells to get back with Krag'wa.
Yeah, he's also at 29, so he has some life to give up.
See, Avantes has to play defense here.
Yeah. And that's why I think this weirdness with the Direwolf and the kind of zoo-ish cards in Ivani's deck.
I was worried he was going to play the Direwolf after making the trades.
No, he's going to tap last again. It's okay.
I don't think he's going to tap at all.
Yeah, I think you're done tapping at this point. I think you Soul Infusion your Jeklik.
Yep.
You drop the Direwolf. Maybe you don't drop the Direwolf.
Problem with dropping the Direwolf. Okay.
You don't get another imp.
Because of the positioning of the Direwolf, I'm okay with the Direwolf. If he would have put it anywhere else, then kind of gets punished for already trading. And he gets double hex. Now the question is, does Avanti read that? Now I would have played the one on the left. Oh, he's going to use both, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the reason in my opinion, the reason he's doing this is he plans to Krag'wa next turn to get 2 more hexes.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is that too slow a play? I think it might be.
I think it might be. I think you almost crushing hand one of your own frogs here.
If he would have played Lorewalker Cho on 2, he would have had the Cataclysm in hand for this.
Yeah, here comes back both those hexes, and the elemental reaction, and whatever else he got. Spirit, which.
But is he dead? I think he might be dead.
Yeah, I think there's not. He has 8 life. He has 3,
4, 5,
6,
8.
Yeah, he has 8 on the board. He's showing 9 on the board.
He's realizing that now. Well, if he hexes a Direwolf, there'll only be 8 left on the board.
Yeah.
And he realizes it too. The hex does not win him the game.
And Grumble's no good. Rockbiter's no good.
Nope.
I think this is it.
I really think that Lorewalker Cho on
turn 2 or 3 would have.
Yeah, turn 3 would have kept him in this game.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna clear out the frog. It's fine.
And it's over.
That's it. Game over.
Yep, that was really strong plays by. Oh, here comes the
BM.
Sportsmanship. We'll discard the other Jeklik.
He does.
Yes.
7/8 that Jeklik, and you drop it just to.
He just wanted to show Versika the 7/8 Jekliks.
There we go. He found it. Awesome.
Alrighty.
That is a big girl.
Yeah, she
That-
she is a big girl.
That deck is sick. That deck is so sick.
It's fun. I've had a lot of fun playing that deck on ladder lately.
Yeah, I called mine Disco Ball. It's that was good. Is Versika with us yet?
I can't hear you. Are you still muted?
Still muted.
You there, Versika?
I think he can hear us. We just can't hear him.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
we go.
there he is.
There we go. So yeah, that was a fun game. We did have a kind of a glaring choice you made to hold the Lower Walker Cho, which is a very interesting idea in this deck. You held it on 3 when you could have played it with the totem, and that might have either given you the Cataclysm or allowed the Cataclysm, made him second guess playing the Cataclysm.
So I thought about that, and then I was thinking, I'm like, so, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that was my longest turn.
Mhm.
Yes, it was.
So I'm thinking through all the options that he could have. So I know the deck runs 2 Cataclysms, or at least the meta version of his deck runs 2 Cataclysms, and 2 Soulfires. Outside of that, what else does he have?
Soul Infusions for the Jeklik.
Right.
Yes.
So does Soul Infusions help me? No. Does Soulfire help me?
Actually, I
Yeah.
think Soul Infusion would have been really good for you.
But he'd already played 1 Soulfire at that point.
True.
Right. So Soulfire, no. So what do I give him if I play Cho and he doesn't immediately kill it? I give him a Hex, and I give him a... Did I have a Tidal Surge in my hand at the time? I think I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay. So I give him a Hex and a Tidal Surge, which prevents me from being able to take out what he lays down. But what I get in return is a Soul Infusion, which does help my Saronite Chain Gang, but there's a good chance that if I play Saronite Chain Gang in the next 2 turns, I was going to play it on turn 4 anyway, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't really help there.
Hmm.
So in just thinking about it, I was just like, so Cho doesn't really help me here. So what do I need Cho for then? A possible trade later? And then I was thinking, you know what? He's about to start discarding and filling his hand full of
Yes.
those.
Yeah.
things. So I was just like, so if I wait to Cho until after I play Hagatha, I can fill his hand full of Shaman spells.
And that's what we
That-
thought your light of thought
Yeah.
is that you were clearly saving him to fill up his hand with spells, so he reduced the likelihood of discarding. I just think that Cataclysm, if there was any way to maybe, get a Cataclysm or make him not play that Cataclysm,
But I mean, think
you
about
might
what
have had a better chance.
Well,
But
in that
think
game.
about
actually,
what
the-
Cataclysm costs me.
Yeah, it costs you a lot. It costs you a lot
Okay.
more than it costs him.
Yeah, and at that point, now if it discarded both hands, then yeah. But
Well-
it's like that's going to cost me way more than it's going to help me because he's
Yeah.
just going to put more stuff back down.
The other turn I would actually might have thrown out Cho. It might have been a little more awkward for you. Was the turn right after he Cataclysms. Because he has the quest in hand, and that's about it.
So let's see. Well, because I think I thought about that too, because I knew he'd completed the quest, but he hadn't cast it yet.
Correct.
So
Oh yeah, that would have given you the quest
right, but I'm thinking, how does that help me?
if you played
Because
it.
I can't complete it.
Well, no, the
no, you
quest
would've gotten
it's
the
the quest
portal.
reward.
Yeah, you would've
It's
gotten the
literally
nether
the 5-mana
portal.
spell that creates another portal that creates imps.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I guess that.
I mean, it would have been up. I mean, he would have traded into it pretty easily with
Yeah.
the 6/6.
Yeah.
But it gives him something to run that 6/6 into that you can take into later.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking that that couldn't help me. So yeah, I just missed that.
It's all right. No, it's like it's one of those kind of weird
It's a tough,
lines
I
that
mean,
you
it's
think
not
about
a
after the
matchup you
game.
see every day. Even
Yeah.
Shaman versus Disco
Well,
Warlock.
even Shaman with Lore Walker Cho, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely like the Cho inclusion because every time I play Cho, my opponent always like they're rapid firing until Lore Walker Cho hits, and then they're just like,
it disrupts him majorly.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, what do I do?
They have to make a decision. Is it more important to trade off and kill Cho, or just keep going like I'm going?
And
I
mean,
do
pretty-
like the Cho in that deck, and that version of the even Shaman was good. It's more mid-rangey than
Mhm.
kind of aggro base. I liked it. Let's talk a little bit about this discard Warlock though, because this was kind of one of the decks that a lot of people, when they saw Jeklik, they went, "Wow, this would be great if we had tools for discard." And then they revealed the other cards that supplement that deck, and everybody said this deck is going to take over the meta. Now, so far, it's not been.
I don't know about that, but
So far, it's not been meta defining, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, we're less than a week through,
It's a solid deck, though.
but it's a solid deck, and you piloted it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
for
us
the
a little
tapping.
bit.
yeah.
Well, yeah. It's just- So
Don't tell Fred.
So just to kind of point out, there were a lot of situations where if you had tapped first, you could have discarded the Clutch Mother. You could have had another line of play that was slightly more advantageous. So other than that, the deck did really well, and you got the good value out of Jekliks. I do like the setting the Jeklik to the far left so that you got more value out of the Soul Infusion, because a lot of people don't realize if you discard a buffed up Jeklik, you get copies of that buffed up Jeklik.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. And that's one of the main things with this deck is you have to be patient. You have to be willing to hold Jeklik, because you can't play Jeklik until you have at least another copy of it in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can, but it's not as good value.
Yeah, you don't get as much value out of it. So, like, you want to hold her until you're forced to discard her, get 2 copies back, play one of them, then discard her again, get 2 copies, play one of them.
Mhm.
And, Clutch Mother is just another one of those cards where if you have Clutch Mother and Jeklik in your hand, just throw them all away. Who cares? Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Get them out of
Well,
here.
that
Clutch Mother
that
makes that deck really, really
That
strong.
Cataclysm turn was sick. Just because you had Clutch Mother and Jeklik in hand, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, well, like he had just played Reign of Toads, and I top decked the Cataclysm. I was sitting here going, okay, so I guess I'm gonna play this 4/4 Clutch Mother, and what am I gonna do next? And then I top decked the Cataclysm, and I was like, oh, there's my answer.
This is a clear Reign of Toad's turn. You're really not doing much next turn. He's not threatening much next turn, and then you can get into your turn 8 Hagatha, and you top deck Cataclysm, and I was like, oh, the only punish in the deck for that play.
Yeah,
and he
and
draws it.
I'm actually only running the one Cataclysm.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, my list is only running one. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at my list and your list, and I think I took your list because that's the list I am running.
Oh, okay.
I like it. I like it a
actually
lot.
posted my list in the Hero Power Discord earlier this week.
And if you want to see these decks, we've been playing with them since the release. You can become a patron over at patreon.com/heropower and be part of the conversation and all the deck building and all of the Alchemy Lab kind of ideas we have. We put in our Discord along with the rest of our community. So definitely be part of that.
Yeah, so when playing this deck, the Solarium, you use it to just to draw the 3 cards, and normally you don't even care if you play them. You kind of want them to go away because that's it's 3 ticks towards your quest for 1 mana.
I mean, you hope you draw Clutch Mother or Jeklik in that Solarium.
Absolutely.
The thing with the Solarium, though, the only time I hate seeing something in Solarium is when I draw the Soul Wardens in my Solarium, because
Yeah.
the Soul Wardens will get you those cards you discard back.
And if you get lucky, you can discard one of your Soul Wardens and keep the other one, and
Oh
you
yeah,
have
that's,
Soul Wardens
that
forever.
ends up being
Right.
infinite value because your Soul Wardens can get the other Soul Wardens, which will get you the other Soul Warden, and then
I
you just
think-
have 6 mana 6/6 forever.
I really think Discolock would be like the aggressive deck right now if Spell Hunter wasn't keeping it down.
I don't think Discard Lock is an aggressive deck at all. I think it's a very mid-range, very
Very mid.
solid value deck.
So I
Um,
guess what I'm saying is the people that tend to gravitate towards aggressive face decks
So
right now are playing Spell Hunter and not this. But I
So
think
this
this could be the
deck-
deck they were playing.
this deck can be played aggressively.
mhm.
I mean, turn 1, you can Firefly, you can Flame Imp. Turn 2, you then immediately get into the Direwolf Alphas, the Homunculus. I mean, you can. I have actually played this where I was on an aggro face plan and just
Mhm.
throwing my Soulfire's face and trying to do as much
And-
damage as fast as possible.
And sometimes playing, especially against other aggro decks, playing passively is your aggressive line. I had a game where basically I was playing against an aggressive deck, and I just kept I tapped on 2, I tapped on 3, filled my hand up with cards. On 4, they're unloading. I played Cataclysm, discarded my entire hand, cleared their entire board. Turn 5, I played the portal and then immediately put on the gas. I just was like, everything's going face. I started soul firing face, and I didn't even rely on Jekyll at that point. I relied on the imps. So sometimes when you're playing the aggressive line, you're still passive the first couple turns.
I mean, I've lost. This deck has beaten me on turn 6.
It can.
So
Yeah, it's
So I had a game the other day when I was first playing this, and my opening hand had no discard in it, so I didn't play the quest at the beginning. And I inadvertently, like, I was doing something else while playing and threw down the Howl Fiend, which immediately discarded the quest. And then a couple of turns later, I Soul Warden back into the quest,
Got
and
the
I'm
quest
right
again.
back on track. It
That's
actually
funny.
recovered, and I ended up winning that game.
See, I've actually
Never
discarded
punished.
the quest.
Never punished.
I discarded the quest reward a couple times while playing this, just
Yeah.
because. And yeah, the Soul Warden gave me the quest reward back a couple times. I only smartly played it once, but it's one of those. Yeah, I don't need 2 nether portals with four imps every turn. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So the one time that I've never seen this deck concede, which I think speaks to the power of the deck, its comeback ability. Especially
3/2s forever is good.
yeah, I mean, but especially if you've got High Priestess in your hand
Mm-hmm.
and you're discarding her. But one of the things, if you don't draw her early, or you don't have a way to discard her early, it's really hard to win without her. Like, it can be done, but she is the win condition. She's the primary win condition
Yes.
for the deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's also the sustain, because the life steal
She's the
alone can
only
keep you
one
in a
with-
game.
Yeah, with lifesteal, and that's something else with this deck. You've got to be real careful because it's really easy to burn yourself to death
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
So
And you've got to be very, very careful because she is the only life gain in the deck.
I guess my advice to anyone playing Warlock that isn't playing Discolock, run Demonic Project.
Yeah.
I've seen this list, a similar list, run Blood Queen Lanethel. The problem with Blood Queen Lanethel was she can get huge and has lifesteal. She doesn't have taunt. By the time
Yeah.
you put her out and you need that lifesteal, she doesn't have like Jekyll where they have to go through her.
And she doesn't have rush, so there's no way
Yeah.
to guarantee she can activate.
Exactly. I think yeah, like I've seen a couple lists with her, and I'm like, I don't want to spend the one. I don't want to spend the 1,600 dust to finish that collection on her. And also, it's like, yeah, I don't think she doesn't do enough in that 5 mana slot. You can do other things like play a 5/7 that charges things, and also complete your quest. So, I think Blood Queen is just not good enough in this deck. I think the thing I throw in mine that's a little bit different, but it takes advantage of those 3/2 imps a lot is what's his name? Mercy killing. Godfrey.
Oh,
okay.
So that if I need to clear this board and I'm already used my Cataclysm,
the
I have
imps
2
good
3/2
starter for
imps that
yeah.
help make Godfrey go up to 4, and then from 4 and start the math at 4 and then go up from there.
So I've also seen Spirit of the Bat run in this deck too.
Yeah, you do enough damage to yourself that I think that would be good. I think if you are missing something if you really want to put Blood Clean Lanethal in the deck, I think the 4/6 Spider is good. The Lifesteal Spider. What's his name?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about
Deathweb.
Deathweb Spider? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to throw a Lifesteal 5 mana minion in there, that's your other
Yeah,
bet.
but you run into the same problem where it's 5 mana for a lifesteal minion that if you're behind at this point, they just go face and they don't have to go through it. So
I mean, you could always. So the Fungal Mancers are nice, but they're not necessary in this deck.
I don't know. I like it.
I was getting ready to say, if you had hit Fungal Mancer, you would have been dead.
Even Fungal Mancer behind a Jacklick. Like if you throw out like a 3/4 Jacklick mid game when you have another one in your hand, you can drop a Fungal Mancer next to her, and she can now heal you for 5, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like you don't Fungal Mancer that stinking 2/4 taunt, it dies to Flame Elemental lick 'em the next turn, and then I'm golden.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, the only questionable inclusion that Matt at Arms and I were thinking of was the Dire Wolf Alpha, but you actually got some good value out of the Dire Wolf.
Yeah, I was like, those early. I was like, why is there a Dire Wolf Alpha in this?
I would have put a Succubus in its place.
So what about?
I don't like Succubus and Discard Warlock. I don't think she's too aggressively statted for the way the deck plays.
It's fair.
So what were you about to say, Versika?
I just think with as often as you trade in the imps, I think Spirit of the Bat's where I would go instead of Dire Wolf Alpha.
Yeah, because I mean that's pretty much what the imps are for: is board clear and or face damage. But
What if we put Blood Troll Sapper in here? That's the 7 mana 5/8 trade a minion. It does 2 damage to their face.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
running
a brutal late game win condition.
Yeah, not running Defiles in the deck though.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, with Godfrey, there we go.
Yeah, but, I mean, it has to stick with Godfrey. With Defile, you can do that on turn 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've thought of a deck that produces more minions, like that stupid egg. I don't like the Scarab Egg, but it would work well.
So good.
If you put minions out that created other minions, and you use Blood Troll Sapper to then use a Defile, then all of a sudden every minion it kills on your side, that's 2 damage to the face. That could be a good win condition, but once the deck's figured out, people just clear all your minions and
Yeah.
Okay, so once Firefly rotates, I'm looking down this list. Cobalt Librarian rotates, so you lose Librarian, you lose Firefly, you lose the quest. Is this deck dead?
I think it goes a little more aggressive once you lose the quest.
I agree. It becomes more aggro-ish at that point.
So what are we looking? Because you're losing. Let's see, you'll
lose Clutch Mother as well.
Yeah.
Reminder: we have 4 months.
No. But I'm looking. So part of Alchemy Lab is helping you at the beginning of the expansion figure out what you want to play, and what you want to craft. So let's say you didn't pull High Priestess, and you're looking at this and you're thinking, do I need to spend part of my dust on making this deck?
Is Jacklick going to be worth it in 4 months?
Right. So it's like, when you're looking at spending your dust early, before you've opened a lot of packs or you don't have the extra dust to spend, is it worth sacrificing some of your collection to get her if you don't pull her? And I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, so you lose the quest, you lose Firefly, which losing Firefly isn't a big deal in this.
You lose Cataclysm.
Lose Cataclysm, you lose Hellfiend.
So Cataclysm is a big deal.
Yeah. Hellfiend not as much.
Yeah, but losing Cataclysm is huge. Because Cataclysm is what? Cataclysm is Kobolds and Catacombs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so...
You lose a lot of this deck. Fungalmancer's gone. Your Serenites are gone. But again, a reminder, in 4 months when these cards go away, we will be getting another set of 135 cards.
Right.
And hopefully we would think they would support this type of archetype. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, they pushed so hard to get it. But, yeah, I'm just thinking, because I'm sitting here, I'm 100 dust away from crafting something. But there's still enough stuff in the set. I'm looking at Jacklick and I'm thinking, if I craft her, is she going to be a dead card in my collection in 4 months?
I think she's very niche for this particular style of deck, and who knows if this style of deck will live past rotation.
Also, kind of a rule I go off of, unless it's like a real obvious I want to play this right this second, I try to hold my crafting for cards that are from earlier this year, because you're still going to be opening some cards, some packs from Rastakhan. You're probably not going to open any more Witchwood or Doom, Boomsday packs. So if there's any Witchwood or Boomsday cards that you want, I would save your dust for crafting those, and then try to maximize getting your pulls out of your Rastakhan packs.
So J.R. Charles just asked, why no Shriek? So if you guys aren't familiar, Shriek is a 1-mana, discard your lowest cost card, deal 2 damage to all minions.
So I think once the quest rotates, you do
Yes.
put Shriek in.
Well, see, you're going to lose, like we said, you're going to lose Cataclysm. And I feel like Cataclysm is the better choice right now, because it doesn't matter how big their minions are. They're going to die. It's an automatic board clear, and it gets you to your quest. Now,
I don't know. I like the Shriek. I like one Shriek instead of the Firefly.
Well, and also, Ivanis' build is also very zoo focused.
True.
It's also very much like a zoo deck with the discard synergy. So I think Shriek actually actively works against that plan. Same with Defile.
It's
same
all
with
minions, not
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're running a more value control version of this,
that's fair.
You run Shriek, you run Defile, you run Spellstones, you run that stuff.
Yeah. And that
So
very
if
well.
you're not running a quest version of Discolock, you run Shriek.
Yeah,
if you're
that-
running
yeah,
a quest
exactly.
version of Discolock, you're
But
probably...
right now, if you're running Discolock, you really should play the quest version. It's the most viable at this moment.
I'm talking about like a quest,
right.
more control focused discard lock.
But in 4 months, you'll probably see a lot of Shriek.
Yeah, Shriek is really good.
Yeah, it is. So, all right. So that pretty much wraps up, I think, all of our discussions.
Yeah. Now I want to put. You just gave me an idea for Siki. You give me. I'm going to try Surrender to Madness Priest with Laura Walker Cho in it.
There you go.
And
Surrender to Cho.
I am going to start playing around with even Dragon Warrior, I believe, and see what we can find.
You still have an hour and a half before the Warden shows up, so
that's right.
You got plenty of time to test on these.
We can keep going longer. I don't have to, demo my backsplash. The better.
So real quick, one of the things I will say, in your even dragon warrior, you need to put a certain 6 mana lady in it. Otherwise, it loses some of its value. So you need to put Mojo Master Zihi in your
Ooh, yes.
in your Even Dragon warrior.
Is Z a lady?
Yes.
Yes, she is.
Oh, she is.
I don't think it was an even Dragon Warrior, but actually Zihi and like I had a aggro shaman that I was actually talking about, and I threw Zihi in that. Anything like I've been considering Zihi and
How
the
much
aggro
is
rogue.
he?
6.
6 mana,
6.
5/5.
Mojo Master.
Yeah, okay.
There she
So
is.
I don't
Yeah, I
run,
got her.
I don't run Zihi in my aggro list, but I do run Zihi in my evolve shaman list. Because
Actually, Zihi wouldn't be bad in the disco lock because, I mean, you're any deck that you're topping out at like 6 mana.
Yeah, actually, even like I've seen her in an even lock where like you play her after you Gul'dan,
Wow.
and then like you just like, okay, I'm Gul'dan now. I shut everything down. I don't care if I have 5 mana or less, or 5 or mana. I don't care if I have 5 mana now.
it's true.
Yeah.
It
Like-
cuts down combo decks really bad. I mean, odd spell mage, but any big spell mage version, if they can't get to their Frostless Jaina, plus if you reset them to 5, that means next turn they're at 6. They can't Flame Strike. They can't Jan'alai. They can't Frostless Jaina. I mean, that's solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually run Zihi in my even rogue.
Yeah, it's
Because you top out at Vanish at 6. Well, and Cannon Barrage, again, and Vanish are at 6. So going back down to 5 is nothing. And the worst matchup that I ran into with even rogue was Druid, just because they do Druid things, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you let a Druid wild growth nourish, and then you
reset
see
him.
he.
Yep.
It's, I mean, they're at the same level as you are. It's harder for them to do the things that they like to do.
yeah. Zihi, I think
Yep.
is going to be a card that was going to surprise a lot of people coming out like in about a month or so, once the meta starts shaping a little more.
Yep.
Yeah. Once you got a solidified meta and, we've maybe gotten a tournament under our belt and we say this deck is dominating, the tournament meta or the ladder, which, if it dominates tournament meta, the next week it dominates the ladder, then you'll see somebody toss in Zihi as a tech card and it could shape that whole tournament, which then shapes the meta. That's one thing that with the new system that they haven't given all the details on yet, the fact that your tournament meta and your ladder meta are going to be so vastly different because ladder's not going to matter and legend rank's not going to matter. I don't know if the tournament meta will affect the ladder as much, and that to me that kind of saddens me.
We'll see what the format is.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think there's so few people that build decks, and the vast majority of Hearthstone players just go to a list and just pull whatever they deem to be the best deck in a class at a particular time. I think tournament meta is still very much going to dictate ladder.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think anything that goes on in tournaments and gets viability and visibility will be on ladder. It's always going to be the case.
And I agree. And I come from a point. I'm not really a deck builder, but I do innovate. So I take an existing deck and then I innovate off of it. But I can't take. I mean, aside from the Holy Wrath Paladin that I didn't look at any lists for, still haven't looked at any lists for. I don't think mine's similar to other people's. Other than Paladin, I pretty much just find a list somewhere, and usually it's based off of somebody's tournament list.
So right now, if you are looking for lists, it's something I've kind of been keeping an eye on because I was I'm kind of one of those. I like numbers, so yeah, I'm watching and seeing what the various styles in each class and where they're going. It's literally changing every day, except for Hunter. Hunter is consistently Spell Hunter / Secret Hunter, and those are kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Death Rattle Hunter still has a better win percentage, but it's not being played as much. All the other lists, it's like somebody comes out with something new and everybody's trying it. And then
Yeah, I'm 3 and 5 with Spell Hunter. I'm not convinced it's as good a deck as everybody thinks, but it is right now the most popular.
Yeah. So this is a time, if you're innovating, get out there and innovate, and don't be like me and sit behind your computer screen and just post your deck in the Discord. Get out there and put it on some of the big sites.
And if you have something that's successful, feel free to tweet it at us. You can tweet us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and we'll check it out. We'll retweet it, and we'll possibly innovate it on our own as well.
Yeah. If you want us to doctor a deck, just tag us in Discord, tag us on Twitter. We'll grab it, play around with it. Most of us, I think, have a good amount of the cards that we can make it work.
Oh, look at Avantes. He's looking at crafting him some Zihi.
I already have Zihi.
Oh no, never mind. He's already crafted it.
Yeah. He's taking a walk, I think. Walk on the wild side.
So yeah, you can email us at ecmmogamers gmail.com. Is it no? Hero Power Podcast at gmail.com. And we'll take a look at it there too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Love to see your deck ideas. And
if you're looking for a tournament and you want to keep that list hidden for as long as you can.
Yep.
Blood Razor.
I know, it's so good.
Oh. Avante's building him some even wild Dragon Warrior.
Starting with Alex Strauss's champion right out of the gate.
Easy pick. Easy.
All right, is that going to wrap us up today?
I think so.
I think it does. You gonna give us an out, Avantes?
But yeah,
Dragon
I
Warrior.
guess so. All right,
but Alex
guys.
Strauss is champion.
All right, well, this has been Alchemy Lab. We'll be if you guys missed last week's Hero Power, it's available on our website and YouTube. We will be uploading our class reviews for Rastakhans for the next couple of weeks. So if you guys are subscribed, you will get those in your RSS feeds starting Wednesday.
And that's in lieu of our normal show.
That is in lieu of our normal episodes. With the holidays, it's hard to find time to get everything in. So we've got content coming for you guys. So enjoy it. And I guess until we see you again,
don't forget to use your hero power.